Why do you stay in relationship, friendship where you already feel unwanted? Like you know it. Why are you still there? Is it really love or is just the fear that no one else will choose you? Okay, I know a lot of girls and maybe you to say they want a healthy relationship. Respect, loyalty, and ADC, but at the same time, in their minds, it is always other person's role to text first, to take decision, and to prove something to you. While you stay in the position of I'm just a girl, and then you expect the kind of love from someone who's just a reflection of who you are right now. And deep down, you already know they can't give it to you. And you get upset more often. You get disappointed over small things, like one day they didn't give you enough attention or didn't act the way you imagined. Like, think about it, how can someone give you a level of love that you don't even know how to give to yourself? People who can't love themselves properly don't know how to love someone else properly either. It is that simple. So what I'm trying to say is that you don't have enough love for yourself. And yeah, I know there are like a million reasons for that. Your past, your environment, the things people say to you, but we're not gonna sit there and analyze every detail because we can't change the past. But now you decide what to do with it next. So first of all, it doesn't look like insecurity. Low self-worth doesn't always show up as someone who's obviously unsure of themselves. Sometimes it hides behind overthinking, and people often convince themselves that this is intuition, but it's not. So your partner asks for a space, and instead of processing it as natural thing, you immediately start to translate it into something really personal, like I'm pushed away, like I'm not attractive, I'm not interesting. Yeah, you start to make up like crazy things, and the longer you sit with that thought, the more detailed it becomes. And now you're no longer reacting to what is actually happened. Now you're reacting to the reality that was built entirely out of your fear. So your behavior changed. You start texting more, you're trying to feel reassured without directly asking for it. You initiate more conversations, you try to be more convenient, more easy to love, but it certainly pushes away your partner, or you do the exact opposite. Okay, so the problem is your partner doesn't see your thoughts, he only sees your behavior. He feels that pressure, he feels that distance, and slowly, without realizing it, you start to shape the exact relationship or friendship that you were afraid of from the start. At the end of the day, you're stuck in those relationships because at some level it feels right. It feels right that there is someone there to love you because you don't know how to give to yourself that. And honestly, the strongest people for me are the ones who are not afraid of being alone. They're okay with being alone. Sitting in the classroom alone, or just being a single, or being in a group where no one talks to you. And honestly, I'm going through that. Yeah, it's not easy. That is exactly why people stay with the wrong ones. They don't want to feel that feeling again. This is where everything connects. So the reason you stay in those relationships is the same reason you stay in the self-hatred. Hatred? It feels like much easier to stay like this than to actually change something. Because the moment you decide I'm not good enough anyway, you remove all the pressure from yourself. Now you don't have to try that hard. You don't have to risk failing. You don't have to face that uncomfortable moment when you did your best and you failed anyway. For a lot of people, that feeling is worse than staying where they are. So they stay. Same standards, same habits, same life for years. And it gets even harder when people around you are the same. When everyone is used to talking badly about themselves, normalizing insecurity, you stop seeing it as a problem. It just becomes normal. I remember hundreds, millions moments in my life when I just wanted to criticize myself constantly, because it felt much easier than to do something, because criticizing yourself is instant. You don't have to work for that. It comes automatically. Yeah. I think I started understanding this really early when I was around 11. People kept telling me that I was fat. Yeah, at that age, you don't question things. You just accept and repeat it to yourself, and it actually becomes the way you see yourself. Yes, of course I try to change. I did everything, like I worked out every day in my house, no gym, no money. I tried my best. Like I kept one thought in my head, like when I go back, people will notice. And then I lost weight. Nothing happened. Literally nothing. No compliments, no reactions. And at that moment, it really hit me really hard. I finally understood that all of that effort was never done for me. All of that effort I have done for them. You can't even imagine how I felt in that moment. Yeah, at that moment I understood that I hated myself. And this is where people misunderstand self-love. So, self-love is a daily decision. The daily acts of taking care of your future self is literally like a parent in you. And in comparison, your self-esteem changes all the time. When things go right, you feel confident. When things go down, you feel bad, yeah? And that's why you can't rely on self-esteem all the time. And self-compassion is how you treat yourself when you fail. A lot of people don't have that. They make one mistake and immediately turn against themselves. And there is self-love. Actually, it requires crazy discipline to love yourself, even though you hate yourself. Like, it's not a bubble bath. It's saying no to toxic people and yes to the gym, walking away from people who drain you, and choosing respect over attention. And of course, I'm not saying that I've figured out everything. Even one small thing can trigger me, and yeah, that old voice comes back. That is why you can't just ignore it and say, I'll deal with it later, because later it becomes your habit, your style of life. If you actually want to change this, it's not about watching more videos on YouTube. You have to really start doing something with that. First of all, stop talking to yourself like you hate yourself. For example, keep one promise to yourself, one reward as you keep going to your goal. In my lifetime, I understood one thing. If you want good treatment from people, first you have to treat yourself good. People will obviously see how you treat yourself, and they will automatically, adjust to you and learn to be alone. If you are afraid of being with your own company, you will keep staying with the wrong ones because you don't have respect for yourself. You don't love yourself. Why being with good people? Okay, I don't love myself. Let's go back to toxic people. Let's go back to them. At the end of the day, people don't treat you based on your potential. They treat you based on what you allow for them. So a lot of low self-worth people allow crazy things. I'm talking about the people who are all constantly being bullied. So why are they still being bullied? They have the choice to leave that space, leave that school, leave that university, but they don't. They think that this is normal. They think that this is normal to treat someone like me like this because I treat myself like this. So yes, I'm gonna repeat it like a million times. Learn to love yourself first. Learn to love yourself first. Not because it sounds nice, but because if you don't, you keep choosing the wrong people that will treat you like you treat yourself.